What's up, Ranger fans? BroadwayBlueBleeder here. Kind of like the New York Rangers, I didn't exactly come prepared for this week's video. I had a lot going on personally, but I wanted to get a video out for you guys, so we're going to do a short one today. Rangers played 4 games, 2 against Buffalo, 2 against the Islanders. They went 2-2-0 when they really needed to go 4-0-0 if they wanted to make any playoff push. Kind of like we've been saying here at BroadwayBlueBleeder for a while now, this year isn't about the playoffs for this team. This year was all about the development of the kids. This was about seeing what we had in the system, seeing what we had in these kids, and what changes need to be made going forward to make this roster a playoff caliber roster. I think they've done exactly that this year. If they would have made the playoffs, I think it would have been a great bonus, but it's not the end-all be-all. Yes, there's still pieces missing from this team, notably probably another center. I think that's going to be addressed this offseason. Stay tuned for some blockbuster news, like I said originally, about this offseason that's going to come up once the Rangers season is officially wrapped up and there are no more playing games. Got some surprises on that one too, but it's going to be a huge video, so keep an eye out for that. But this team's not going to look the same next year. It's not going to look the same, I think, in a couple months. I think there's going to be major changes coming. And I think a lot of the gripes that people have are valid. I think some of them aren't. But we'll get into that as we go into the games. Also, we're going to do the sin bin. It's going to be a quick one. I got a very specific set of people that are going to be in my sin bin for this one. And then we'll look forward to next week. So the first game was the game against Buffalo. I believe it was last Sunday. That was a 6-3 win by the Rangers. Mika Zibanejad had another hat trick, his 3rd of the season, which is phenomenal. He is going to be center number 2 next year. That was not a misspeak. You heard me. He will be center number 2 next year. Then there's every reason for him to be. He could push for center 1. I mean, I think he's really like a 1A, 1B with whoever we bring in next year. Or next season. I keep saying next year, but it's next season. Anyway, I think he's going to be an integral part of this team. I don't think you're going to see him go anywhere. It should be interesting once his contract is up how much the Rangers are actually going to pay him, knowing that they have an influx of kids that they're going to also have to pay once their contracts are up as well. I know the Rangers have a bunch of cap space next season, which is great. Maybe they get him signed early. I really hope they sign Adam Fox at the end of this season instead of waiting another year. Throw as much money as that kid wants at him. I don't care. He's going to win the Norris. I'm saying that right now. And if he doesn't, the whole thing's a sham. There's no reason that he shouldn't win the Norris. The kid is probably one of the top 3 defensemen in the NHL right now, if not a top 5 player in the league. I mean, maybe 10, maybe 5's pushing it, but this kid is good. And, we got him again for nothing. Thank you, Carolina. Another game, another player that stepped up in that Buffalo game was Capo Caco. Really like seeing his game starting to round out. Again, I've said this before. I'm going to be quick about it this time. A lot of people are upset with his progression and how far he's come along. Relax. He's still a teenager. His defensive game came from nowhere because he was not known for his defensive game. And his offense is starting to click. Let him get some time with some better players, get him off that kid line. I think you're going to see him explode. I think he's going to be another integral part of this team going forward. He is not going anywhere either, as much as people out there think he's going to get traded. Unless Connor McDavid comes available, I don't see him getting traded. Or Kako. None of the kids are going, or I said Kako, or Loff. I just don't think any of the kids are going anywhere that are playing right now. There may be some depth that isn't really depth for other teams, but it's depth for us because what we have, that'll get dealt at the, during the summer to get another piece in, but I don't think it's going to be a kid that is playing heavy minutes right now. Like I said, he's really rounding out his game. All that 3rd line was doing great. Loff has been up on the top line with Mika and Booch. He's been looking great. This is exactly what you expected to see this year, and it's coming to fruition. The loss of Trouba hurts, and a lot of people liked to rag on him all season saying he's our 2nd best defender. Well, no shit. Adam Fox is, again, a top 10 player in this league. Jacob Trouba is not, but he's an integral part of this team. I'm going to say it now. I think I alluded to it last week. Jacob Trouba will be the captain of the New York Rangers for the next season. There's no doubt in my mind. There's no one else that should get it. He is what makes that defense tick. I think without his presence in the locker room, we see what the Rangers fall into. I said it again last video, his defense isn't the only thing being missed right now, and you can clearly see that in these guys in every game they've played. Capo Caco, I was talking about, sorry, I went on a tangent. He had 2 goals in that game. Booch with another couple assists. Foxy with a couple assists. Like I said, he's getting the Norris. Without a doubt, Igor Shesterkin is goalie number 1 going forward. I don't understand why people are still arguing that. This game, he had 34 shots faced, and he had 31 saves, 3 goals allowed. He kept us in that game again, or kept Buffalo from getting back to us, which is a common theme we're starting to see with this Rangers team. Their goalies bailing them out. Where have we heard that before? I am not comparing the two, but I'm just saying. It was a great game. It wasn't a great game, I'm sorry. It was a great game for Igor. It was an iffy game for the Rangers. It was a game that kind of made a lot of people uneasy, I think, about the following games. People that really saw the intricacies of this team saw the flaws in these 2 Buffalo games. The one we're speaking about now, and of course the following game, which they won again 3-1. But it was another game that they had no business winning. If it was against a quality team, they were going to get their shit kicked in. Brendan Smith, love the guy. He is very, very much a heart of this team. He's, that gritty, down, dirty kind of player. He's been scoring a couple goals here and there, and I think I said it last video. If I didn't, Rangers need to find a way to sign him to a very, very cheap contract for this coming season. I think he'll be a great 7th defenseman to have. He's just got to understand that his role is going to be changed severely. It's going to be limited, but I think he would be a great piece to keep around for the Rangers for next season. We'll see if it happens. I don't know. I hope it does. I like the guy. He's a good defender, and he's reliable. He's what you're going to get with Smith night in, night out. Another great game by Shesterkin. I apologize, I don't have all the stats ready. This was another game. He had 37 shots attempted on him with 36 saves. Again, where would we be without him? He is goalie number 1 going forward. He's probably going to be one of the top, I'm going to say it now, maybe 5 goalies by the time he hits his prime in the league. The kid looks good. He's quick. I love the way he handles the puck. His rebounds are mostly controlled for the most part, whether it's a hard or soft shot. He knows where he's going with the rebounds. He knows what the opposing team is going to do with those rebounds, and he always seems to be in place. Yes, there's been games where he's looked shaky, but I don't know. I think it's crazy that people are still calling for Georgiev to start some of these games at this point in the season. Georgiev's not in the plans. He's not in the long-term plans. I'd be surprised, honestly, if he was actually here starting next season. Saying that now, I'm going out on a limb on a lot of these things. You'll see that as the season starts to wind down. There's some things I've been hearing, some things that I'm kind of piecing together on my own, which is one of those, Georgiev not being here next year. I don't see why we would pay a backup goalie that much money, when we have Benoit Lear, who can make me look like Henrik Lundqvist. Mika Zibanejad had another goal this game. Loff looked good again. He had his goal in this game as well. Power play's been iffy. It's, again, too much passing, too much time wasting, and you can't do that against quality teams. There isn't much else to talk about this game except for the fact that, again, anybody that kind of saw the flaws in this game knew what was about to happen. I will come right out and say it. The next game was also on the NFL draft night. Kind of ended up just watching the draft at this point. I didn't really see this game going any differently. I did watch some of it, but not all of it. And the Rangers got their shit kicked in. Yep.
I'm sorry, I need you.
Don't know where I left off. Sorry about that doggy issue. Everything is good. But, Rangers playing against a quality team, they're going to get their shit kicked in. This was another game where it was kind of at the end, how is this only, a 1-goal game? Going into the third, the Rangers just didn't compete well. And it's been a problem, I think, all season for this team. Consistency is key. But it's really hard to be consistent when you got the second youngest roster in the league trying to learn on the fly. And I feel like a lot of people continue to forget about that. This is the second youngest team in the league. There are going to be a lot of growing pains. These games are going to help come next season. It's all going to pay off. Again, maybe some of these players aren't here, maybe they are. But this season, again, is just a learning experience. Now I remembered where I left off the NFL draft. I did watch some of the game. as much as I didn't want to. It was a very, very ugly game. As we all know, they did lose 4-0 in a game that was pretty much winning your season continues, and they didn't win. But it's not exactly surprising. Again, there's a lot of elements to this team that's missing. Trouba was out. Lindgren got hurt in this game. Howden broke his foot, I believe, in this game. We had a bunch of injuries, and you're just not going to win if you don't have your players. This was another game where people were bitching and moaning that Igor didn't get the start, or Igor got the start, not Georgiev, who's been the Islander killer for the Rangers. Well, newsflash. It's kind of hard to beat a team when you've only scored 3 goals in 5 starts. That's 3 goals in 5 starts. That's how many the Rangers have scored in Igor Shesterkin starts against the Islanders this year. Not going to win a lot of games. I'm just putting that out there. Again, Igor is the #1 goalie. Even if he has something against the Islanders where he can't beat them, he has to figure it out, because we can't rely on backups to beat them every time. Which is another reason he needed more time this year. I had no issues with him starting this game. I wouldn't have had an issue if he started the next game, which he didn't, but I wouldn't have had that big of an issue. I just, I don't know what else to say. A lot of people are complaining that we don't have grit and toughness, and players aren't afraid to take cheap shots on us. Yeah, that might be true, but what do you expect them to do with a week left? People just love to bitch about something with this team, and this is the newest thing. I understand they don't have that toughness and they don't have that grit, whatever you want to consider that being. I think they need a Matt Martin type player or a Wilson type player, somebody that's not afraid to get in your face but can also make not magic, but make things happen with the puck. You don't want just, a Colton Orr or a Ryan Holig anymore. That's not where this league is. You got to find the right balance. And I feel like a lot of people just want to throw, Tanner Glass back there and just let him punch people's faces in, which would be fucking awesome to watch, but it's not going to help this team. You throw out the 4th line with that guy, all right, we don't really have to worry about them that much. It's an evolving game, and I think they're going to take care of all of those pieces this offseason. They'll find someone. I don't know who it is at this point. Maybe it's somebody that's in the AHL. Maybe it's not. I don't know, but I have faith in this team. I have faith in JD. I have faith in Gordon. I don't know, again, I've said this before, I don't know if Quinn's the answer to get to the cup, but I think he's the right coach to develop these kids to a point where, once he hits that wall where it's like, all right, what do we do from here? I think you'll see him go. I think next season is his prove it year. If they come out slow, or if they're going to miss the playoffs before the end of the season, I think you see him get the axe, but that's only because he's gotten this team as far as he can get them. And that's okay. Not every coach is going to be your Hall of Fame coach. Not every coach is going to win you the Stanley Cup, but he's going to be a piece of history if this team gets to be as good as I think they can be. He will be part of the reason, and, I think fans will see that down the line. There's not much really else I want to say about this game. I don't even want to talk about the next one either. Because that was another shithole loss, 3-0 against the Islanders that time. It was the last game in the Coliseum. It would have been nice to see us go out with the win, but whatever. And to everybody that wanted Georgiev to start, he started and gave up 3 goals, and guess how many the Rangers scored? So don't tell me it's a goalie issue. It's an offensive issue. Our top guys seem to disappear against this team, and I don't quite know why. I know Mika took a bad elbow in the beginning of the first, or somewhere through the first. People were bitching and griping again that we had nobody to retaliate. Of course we don't. Who do you want to retaliate? You can't have Brendan Smith do it. Kreider was out of the game. We didn't have anyone. Of course we didn't. But pointing it out is not going to change it. And again, you're not going to sign somebody this late in the season. This season's over. Let it go and come back ready for next year, because that's all I can say. It was just an ugly game again. Morgan Barron, I think this was his first game. He's a rookie lefty wing from the AHL. He's got some size to him. I'm looking up his stature right now. He's 6'4", 220. Like I said, a lefty shooting center. He's not going to be, he might be the 4th line center next year. I hope he is. He's got some girth to him. But I don't think he's going to bring that grittiness that everybody's looking for, that toughness, that fighting ability. He could. I could be totally wrong. I don't know much about his game, to be honest, and where it's going to translate into the NHL. He was a sixth round pick in 2017, so maybe he's learned since then. But as far as the fighting skills go, I don't really know. I don't tend to follow that often, which I probably should, but oh well. So really, those were the games. Like I said, they needed to go 4-0 and 0, and they went 2-2 and 0. Pretty much pushes them out of the playoffs. I'm actually curious about it right now, where they stand as of today before the Washington game. It's probably not good. I think the last time I checked it was 1.7 or something like that. They currently sit at 0%. So, yeah, no, yep, they're done. They're out. I apologize. Season's over. Let it go. Hopefully from here we see maybe a couple more call-ups. I know Tarmo's back on the main roster with the injuries that we've had going on with Lindgren and Trouba. I know Trouba's been skating, which is absolutely crazy. I don't think he should see another game this season unless he's sure he's ready. And even at that point, if I was Quinn, Gordon, and Brain Trust, I wouldn't let him play. Same thing with Lindgren. He's too much of a main piece of this puzzle going forward. I just don't want to risk any further injuries. Bring up some of the other kids, let them play. And let the kids play. I keep saying this, I feel like every week, this Blackwell on the second line needs to end. He's not going to be a main focus of this team. He might get exposed to Seattle for all we know. There's rumors out there about that. I will have a piece on that coming out very shortly. We're going to do some blogs on that as well, so that's going to be fun to read up on and look into, exactly where they're going to go with the expansion draft. But that's really all I got as far as recapping the games. Sinbin, I kind of already went over it. It's all the people, the armchair GMs, as they like to say, out there stating that the Rangers need this and that and this and that. Well, at this point in the season, this and that and this and that isn't going to happen. This season's pretty much a wash. It's over, like I said. I'm not expecting any signees, anything like that. Maybe some draft pick signings or extensions, maybe, but I highly even doubt that until the end of the season. Sorry, I'm just trying to look back where the Rangers are. Buffalo Islanders. So, I forgot. Even worse. This is the last week for the Rangers. They have 4 games remaining. 2 against the Capitals, 1 tonight, and 2 against the Bruins. Let's see what they can do. Maybe they can knock a seeding out. Maybe they can take Washington down a peg. I don't know. Maybe they make things exciting. Who knows? But season's almost up, like I said. But the future's bright. The future is definitely bright for this team. If you're jumping off the bandwagon, you're jumping too early. See ya. We don't want you back. Not much else to say with this episode. I do apologize for not being completely prepared. This actually went a lot better than I thought it would. Once I get talking, I kind of have a hard time stopping, as you can see. But, that's what we got for this week. Sinbin was the fans. I also probably am going to give it to the top forwards on the team that seem to disappear every time we play against the Islanders. It's got to change next year if we're going to do anything big. Off-season's going to be interesting. Buckle up, get ready for a bumpy ride, and expect the unexpected. Don't forget to check out my YouTube Shorts page. It's youtube.com, search BroadwayBlueBleeder Shorts. Like, comment, subscribe while you're there. Please get your friends, family, anybody that likes the Rangers, have them watch these videos, subscribe, yell at me in the comments, tell me I suck, tell me I'm the greatest, whatever. I like to interact with fans, and I'm trying to get this out to as many people as possible. So I do appreciate all the hard work you guys have been doing for me. I've had a lot of people reach out telling me they love doing this, they want to be a guest. If you want to be a guest, let me know. I do have a couple lined up, nobody big that you guys are going to know. It's just close friends of mine that I like to talk Rangers with. Like I said, we'll have some blog posts coming out very soon. I do have my TikTok, which is BroadwayBlueBleeder, same thing with Instagram. I do have a Facebook page as well. You can find me there. You can always hit us up on the website, BroadwayBlueBleeder.com. Leave an email with us, leave a comment, leave a like, whatever you want to do. And that's about all I got for this week. So we'll see you next week. Hopefully the Rangers at that point have gone maybe 4-0. You never know. It could be an interesting, fun week to talk about. And I got some exciting stuff coming up, like I said. So keep on watching, keep on hitting that like button. Keep telling your friends about me. We love to have you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Adam Fox, like I said, is going to win that Norris Trophy, and the Rangers are going to be a great team for the next decade or so. Bank it.